It's a magical time of year where sleigh bells ring. Ooh, when all the planeswalkers walk and you can hear them sing. Christmas,
Slinging spells through the night.
Christmas,
Powerful beings of light.
Christmas,
Winning glory on the battlefield.
Christmas,
And I still believe that Santa's real. Combos echo in the morning sun. Our commander game is never done. When you lose, it's tragic. I'm still so magic.
Happy Magic the Gathering Christmas.
Welcome in, everyone. We're going to be doing a quick little recap. Our 2024 year in review. Our 2024 wrapped.
Yeah.
As so many people
Wild
are
Dogs
saying.
wrapped. Yeah.
And I think the perfect way of kicking that off, it being the holiday season, is to give each other Christmas presents
Perfect.
and open them on the show.
Sure. Why not?
So
Why
I've
not?
got yours right here, Luke. You gave me mine yesterday, but I waited to open it until
Thank
we were
you.
recording.
Also, for the formal record, Leland did a way better wrapping job than I did. This is perfectly wrapped.
I don't know. This is pretty good, dude.
No, it's not.
It's pretty good.
I'm famously very bad at wrapping.
Also, it's just marker right on the paper.
Yeah, I
To
do
Leland
not
from
do
Lucas.
like Leland's has like a ribbon
Yeah.
and a sticker that says to and from. I just wrote it on the wrapping paper.
That looks great, man. Well, let's open these up.
Let's open her up.
Oh my god.
Oh no, what is this?
Check it out, dude. Okay, first
Stop. Stop.
of all, I guess I'll go first.
Yes.
Luke, and I'll post this. Luke gave me a framed picture of us with Andrea Mengucci at MagicCon Chicago at the beginning of this year.
Outside of the bathroom.
Yeah, we met him. We bumped into him outside of the bathroom, and he was very gracious and very kind, and was like, "Yeah, you can take let's take a picture." And we were like, "Yeah, we really love your pauper content. We love your your legacy videos that you started doing." And I forget, we were like, "Yeah, we love legacy. We love your pauper." Luke's like, "Yeah, I love your 8cast video." And Mengucci just turns to Luke and goes in like just deadpan, just 8cast is not a pauper. In his accent. And
Yep.
It's like I love that memory. I feel like everyone has to have one good Mengucci story.
Yep.
And I'll always remember him turning to you and be like, 8cast is not a pauper.
Yep. Called my ass out.
This is so good, dude. Thank you so much. I think obviously when we start to do video, which we'll talk about later, we're going to have this in the background.
Oh yeah.
For sure. 100% Awesome Mengucci.
Yeah, we're creating scalps. Like I call them scalps. We're creating like we slowly are assembling just like a bunch of random mementos from our escapades, and this is one of them for sure.
It's so great. Well, thank you so much. Like this is too good.
Yeah, no worries, man. Merry Christmas.
Thank
And yeah, on my end, guys. So some history, some Wild Dogs history. The second deck I ever made, I called Finn the Honest, which is Finn the Fang Bearer, which is an Infect mono green deck, and I made it for Pauper. And it was busted. It was very good. And Leland graciously got me a playmat, which, by the way, it's in the private folder. But I remade this deck for actual.
Let's go.
For actual like full, not Pauper EDH,
regular.
but like regular EDH.
That's awesome.
So
dude.
it's actually very funny. I was working on this like Tuesday.
That's awesome.
So
I know he's your boy, so I was like, even though the pauper deck is
no,
retired,
he's back.
he's a part of your history, and I was like, I have to get this for Luke. So now you've got your very own Finn the Fangbearer playmat.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Luke. This is great. I love
Thank
this.
you.
But yeah, I had to hook up our whole play group with playmat. So I got
What did you get, everybody?
I got Taylor a prismatic ending, Matt, and it was like he was actually the hardest to shop for.
Yeah, he's the man who has everything.
Yeah, and I just wanted to get him something unique that he probably wouldn't have picked out for himself. But Prismatic Ending is a classic vintage cube card. Taylor loves vintage cube. And it's the new special guest art. I forget which special guest set it was in, but Dominic Mayer did the new art for it. I should probably actually just pull it up for you to see because it's really,
I want to see
really
it.
good. So that felt like a really suiting playmat for Taylor because he likes vintage cube. I like Dominic Mayer. So yeah, this is the one I picked out for him. It's this. Yeah, it's just so cool.
I love it.
The colors and whatnot look great. And then I got Johnny a sneak attack, classic sneak attack.
Yeah,
From Dominaria because he plays
that checks out.
Sneak and Show. It's the
Sneak and
legacy
Show.
deck.
Yeah,
I got I got Jacob Bristly Bill because he's
Yeah,
building,
you did.
He's building this like gold border. It's like a Legendaries Matters standard deck right now for some reason.
that's messed up.
And it's really funny because I ordered these for like Black Friday. Like Ultra Pro had this deal, which is why I ended up with this coin case because Ultra Pro makes a lot of beyond just Magic
Yeah,
collectors casings and stuff like that. It's also
Yeah.
for like coins and stuff. So, but it's just like, why do I have a quarter case in here?
super
I must have
random.
just thrown it in,
Yeah.
But yeah, Jacob's been working on this deck, and the one card he hasn't bought in paper is Bristly Bill because
It's so
it's
expensive.
$40 right now.
Yeah,
So it's like, it's so we've been talking about him a lot, Bristly Bill a lot, and he was like, so it was perfect.
and we'll talk about him later.
And his brother Brian was in town too. And I just so happened to have an extra playmat because when I ordered a certain amount, I got an extra for free. There was like a mystery.
Oh,
that,
that's
like,
cool.
Threw one in. And it was actually it's not like super rare, but it was Dream Trawler, which is from Theros Beyond Death.
Okay,
Mad random, but it's a playmat that hasn't been in print since Theros. So, of course, I had to get one for myself.
yeah. What'd you get?
So I got the Strixhaven Mystical Archive Art of Duress.
Hey, that's cool.
It's like the Japanese art.
Got some lady with a migraine.
Yeah, yeah, basically. It's one of my favorite. Well, it's one of my favorite cards, and this art is incredible. I actually have two like foil copies of this. I don't know why. I just have them. One of them's in my Croxa Tool Commander deck.
I like
And
it.
I've been looking at buying this playmat for a while on TCG Player, but all of the listings are like 80, 90, $100. And I was like,
Yeah.
I just can't do that. But for whatever reason, I think Ultra Pro like went through their warehouses and they were like just grabbing stuff, throwing them on the sale, and they threw this on the sale for like $20 or something. Like
incredible.
that. I was like, let's go, finally.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was just fun shopping for all you guys, getting you all some new playmats. So
Dude, I love it. Let's
Yeah, it was
go.
fun.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you.
of course. All right. Well, with that, on to the Leland's Food for Thoughtcast question, which is at the end of each episode. We ask a question and we answer it in the next episode. So last week's question, or the last episode's question, is what is your favorite 2-card combo? And I included some examples like Demonic Consultation into Thassa's Oracle, Painter Servant and Grindstone, and the very classic Voltaic Key Time Vault combo. So yeah, lead us off, Luke. What is your one of your favorite 2-card combos?
My favorite 2-card combo, super simple. Turn 1, play Soul Ring into Zabaz.
Okay. Gotcha. So you're thinking like commander focus, just like efficiency.
I don't play combo,
Okay.
so this is the best I got. I
That's
played my
fair.
commander turn 1. That's a pretty good.
I think that's fair.
That's a pretty good. And it's Zabaz. It's America's B. We all love him. We all know him. So.
I was thinking more like literal 2-card win the game combos.
Oh, really?
So my current favorite.
I didn't know that
one-
was possible.
Yeah, unfortunately it is. So my current favorite 2-card combo is World Gorger Dragon and Dance of the Dead, or Necromancy or Animate Dead. They all have the same effect.
Okay.
Are you familiar with this combo?
I've never heard of either of
Okay.
these cards.
All right, so the World Gorger Dragon Animate Dead, how that interaction works is World Gorger Dragon reads the key line of text. Obviously, it's a 7/7 flying trample. When it enters the battlefield, exile all other permanents you control. So that includes lands, well, all permanents.
Yeah, everything.
It also includes the Animate Dead. But it also has, whenever it leaves the battlefield, you return the exiled cards to the battlefield under their owner's control. So the combo is when World Gorger Dragon is in your graveyard, you reanimate it with Dance of the Dead or Animate Dead, which basically read enchant creature in graveyard, return that creature to the battlefield. It's a really weird interaction with an enchant aura with a creature in your graveyard to bring it back onto the battlefield.
Gotcha.
And when that happens, World Gorger Dragon will hit the battlefield and it will exile the Animate Dead. So the Animate Dead will leave, your lands, all of your other permanents will leave the battlefield. But when your Animate Dead leaves the battlefield, your World Gorger Dragon has to go back to your graveyard.
Interesting.
So then all your permanents hit the battlefield again, and you tap all your lands in response because they come in untapped. So this is an infinite mana combo. Because then once World Gorger Dragon leaves, your Animate Dead comes back into the battlefield, and then you do the whole loop again. Because the Animate Dead will hit the battlefield, you'll reanimate your World Gorger Dragon, it'll hit the battlefield again, exile the Animate Dead, World Gorger Dragon goes back to your graveyard, Animate Dead comes back in, so it's like this cycle.
Yeah.
And in between each of those activations or each of those triggers, you tap all your lands and you generate infinite colored mana of your choosing.
Dude, I love it. That's awesome.
And so in Kroxa, it's really cool because Kroxa is in the command zone. You're casting your commander from the command zone because the commander tax does not matter because you've got infinite mana.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Kroxa reads, because it's got escape. That's the key part to this combo. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, each opponent discards a card, and each opponent who doesn't discard a non-land card this way loses 3 life. And so you just cast it, and instead of having to go to your graveyard, you put it back in your command zone.
That's sick.
And so you just infinitely cast Kroxa. Your opponent loses their whole hand and then starts losing 3 life at a time, infinitely.
That's awesome.
So that's my number one combo right now because I'm really into dual commander. I think it's like a perfect format for me personally because I love building in 100-card singleton with something in the command zone, and it's 1v1, which is the best way to play Magic, inarguably. As much as I love casual multiplayer,
Completely agree though.
1v1 is just how Magic works.
It's how it was meant to be played.
So now onto the main topic. Our year in review for both Wizards and Wild Dogs.
Yep.
I think we're going to start with Wizards.
Yeah,
Wizards year in review.
A lot happened this year.
A lot has happened indeed. Let's do
a lot of good, a lot of bad. A little bit of mix of both.
Yeah. Should we do a quick rundown on just the sets that were released this year?
Yeah, let's do it.
And then just like a quick little general
one
impression.
sentence. What'd you think?
Sounds like Willow doesn't like Ravnica Remastered.
Yeah, that's first.
Which is the first one, which came out in January. What did you think of Ravnica?
I thought it was all right. I liked it. I thought it was fun. I never was around when
Sure.
Ravnica first came out. So it was kind of fun to relive. It was fun to draft. Actually, wait, no, I don't think we ever drafted it, but I think we just bought a bunch of packs.
We did, yeah. We drafted Dominaria Remastered.
Dominaria
when that came out.
Remastered.
But yeah,
Okay.
I like these remastered sets.
I love it.
Kind of to your point, we weren't really around for the OG Guilds of Ravnica and stuff like that. So, can't complain with pulling a couple shock lands too along the way.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it.
I pulled Niv Mizzet in that set too, which was kind of fun to pretend like I was living in like 2005 or whenever this set came out.
Yeah, and I got the it's like the retro border foil Niv Mizzet.
I love it.
So clean. I don't have it in any decks, but I just had to get one. You know, for the culture, as you like to say.
For the culture. Makes sense. Yeah.
Next was Murders at Karlov Manor, which was in February. This might not be a popular opinion, but I really enjoyed Murders at Karlov Manor.
I did not. I wish I did not spend money on this set.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on it, like
I thought the flavor sucked. I thought the gameplay mechanics of the disguise thing sucked.
Well, yeah, you and I differ pretty severely here because this is one of my favorite sets of the year.
Okay.
And maybe it's because this was like right around MagicCon Chicago. So that's, we did the whole, there was so
that
much
was
like,
fun.
Karlov Manor themed stuff going on at the time. And I don't know, I think I got like 2 bundles worth of this product. I also, part of the reason is I 3-0'd the pre-release event and got a bunch of free packs and stuff.
Yep.
That was probably my favorite pre-release of the year. Was Karlov Manor. I mean, it always feels good to do well.
I thought the cases was the worst new mechanic of the year.
Okay.
The like case enchantments.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one understands them and no one uses them.
Yeah, I don't think there aren't really that many that are strong enough to care about, really. There are a couple that I like. I think there's like a Lands Matter one, but yeah, I agree that
Complete swing and a miss.
we already have like sagas,
Yeah. It was like a worse
We've
saga.
got Duskmourn has these rooms, which we'll talk about later, but I think the rooms are fine. Like, I think they're good.
Yeah, those are cool.
But we've already got these like unique little weird
Dungeons.
spins on enchantments that, yeah, I think the cases are probably the weakest of those. Sagas probably being the strongest of them.
I hope we never see them again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't imagine we go back to the Karlov Manor anytime soon. So hopefully you don't have to worry about that.
Perfect.
With that, we had the Ravnica Clue Edition, which I don't think either of us really engaged with that much.
I didn't even know this existed.
There are some extremely good cards that came from it, though. One of which I'll show you that you'll probably really like. It's the Something of Ilharg. Herald of Ilharg, because Ilharg is the Razebore classic mono red. I love this card.
Yeah, it's the only god from Ravnica.
Yeah, got re-released in Ravnica Remastered. I got a retro foil of Ilharg that I'm stoked
awesome.
on. But yeah, Herald of Ilharg this is such a fun commander card because it does everything you want it to do. So Herald of Ilharg, for 2 a red and a green, you get a 3/3 boar beast with trample. Whenever you cast a creature spell, put 2+1/+1 counters on Herald of Ilharg. If that spell has mana value 5 or greater, Herald of Ilharg deals damage equal to the number of counters on it to each opponent.
Wow.
So
That's pretty good.
yeah, you just every time you cast a creature, it juices Herald up, which in like a lot of red-green decks are just playing a ton of creatures.
That sounds very good to me.
And then it also has a burn effect on it and just pings everyone down for probably a lot of damage because you're going to be putting a ton of counters on this thing. And then eventually you cast your Crater Hoof. Not only is your Crater Hoof probably going to win you the game anyways, but your Herald of Ilharg might just kill them too.
Did you buy one?
I did. I have this in my Karlak Raised by Giants deck
I love it.
because I've got a lot of high mana value 5 or greater creatures in that deck, the commander included. I mean, the commander being 5 mana, it's like I know for sure I'll get one proc
Yeah.
of that second ability, But yeah, there are a couple things like this that I think are kind of interesting. There's like a bug. There's like a really popular bug. I forget. Yeah, this one, Amzu, Swarm's Hunger, that like it's like a Graveyards Matter. Golgari deck, kind of classic, really strong. Suppressor Skyguard is kind of interesting. So there's some like cool, unique cards that came out.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, we didn't, neither Luke or I bought any of this.
I didn't even know it existed until you just said it.
Next up was Fallout in March, which was just the commander decks, right?
Yeah, there's just commander desks. Oh no, and they had the collector
boosters too. That's right. Did you buy any Fallout?
No. Nope. But I've played against it at the table, and I've looked at the cards on the internet, and it seems cool.
Yeah.
Luke thinks it's cool.
All right.
Yeah.
I kind of feel similarly. Our friend Taylor has was it the Master or something like that? The Mothman deck.
Mothman.
With the rad counters that everyone hates.
Yep.
But I secretly kind of love.
That I kind of like too.
They've grown on me. Yeah, there's a ton of the thing I will say about Fallout, even though I personally don't really care about the IP, I've tried to play Fallout 4. I think I've said this before on the show. Like, I just can't get into Fallout. It's not for me.
You tried.
But there are so many really good, unique designs from the Fallout Commander decks.
Yes.
One of which I play one in my Croxa Dual Commander deck. It's Veronica. Veronica Dissident Scribe, which is just like a kind of classic mid-rangey red creature that cares about discarding and drawing. Like, there are so many cards like this, and I think she turns that, because a lot of them are rummaging effects where you have to discard to draw a card. It's not like we were talking about. It's not true card advantage. However, when you discard a card, you create a junk token, and junk tokens are true card advantage because it's like, rather than it being like a clue where you draw a card, instead junk token, you sack it, exile top card of your library, and you can play that card this turn.
Very cool.
Very cool. Anyways, Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
I liked it. It was fun.
I
Big head energy.
Loved it. I think my secret favorite set of the year is the Big Score. Every card in the Big Score subset from Thunder Junction was just fire. Like just super creative designs. That
not a single bad card in that set.
Yeah, just everything is like super inspired, and like you could tell they put in the work. You could say I'm 100%. A big fan. And then base set was really good. Bristly Bill.
Yep, which we'll talk about later.
Bristly Bill, the main guy. So then we had Modern Horizons 3, which messed up the game of Magic the Gathering for all other formats.
Yep.
I guess Commander included, because we had the whole Nadu thing, which eventually led to the bans and led to the dissolution of the RC and set everything on fire. So, you know what? Screw Modern Horizons 3. It ruined everything.
Honestly, Modern Horizons 3 was kind of like the initial jumping off point to the rest of the year.
Yeah, it set the tone in a really bad way.
Yep. Honestly, I think that Modern Horizons 3 is going to be like the turning point for the game.
Yeah.
Like, it all started with MH3.
I mean, it gave us Vexing Bauble, it gave us Psychic Frog, it gave us Nadu, it just gave us like every card that would destroy. It gave us Glaring Fleshraker.
So many Eldrazi.
It gave us so many things that just ruined so many formats. It did give us Ocelot Pride, though, which is also a messed up Magic card, but is the best card in my Preston the Vanisher deck now. So actually, it turns out I love Modern Horizons 3.
It also gave me a really energy precon that I'm mad I bought.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I bought literally the worst one. Like all the other ones are broken, and everybody's like talking about how good they are.
Yeah, I got the Graveyard Overdrive or whatever it's called with Disa.
That one's good.
Pretty fun. I played it at your house the other night. It played pretty well. It was it felt like a precon. You know,
it felt like a precon. Everybody, okay.
It was good though. It was fine.
It was kind of slow, you know.
Yeah, okay. It was fine. But also had Flage, which also
is good.
Destroyed Modern, from my understanding. Yeah, now Modern energy matters in Modern now, which I think it just says everything you need to know about Modern Horizons 3. Just
gotta love it.
Yeah. Anyways, Modern Horizons 3. It's a controversial set that gave us some good stuff and gave us a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, Luke set of the year.
This is my least favorite Magic the Gathering set ever created.
Of all time.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I mean,
everything about it.
I like it. I think I don't like how it was presented in that you can only get these I don't like that we only got it in these Universes Beyond packs. So we got some cool cards like the Capitoline Triad. This is actually a deck I'm building. It's going to be my colorless deck. I'm going to do basically it's going to be like an pseudo eggs deck. So there's some cool designs. I like the Caduceus Staff of Hermes is cool. Obviously it has Bayek of Siwa, so I'm a big fan of that. I don't know. I'm high on this because I love Bayek. So I got a Bayek card, so I'm happy. So I don't care.
There you go.
Next up is Bloomborough in August. I think both of us are pretty high on Bloomborough.
Incredible set, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think this next, it's either this or Karlov Manor. In a weird way, Karlov Manor might be my favorite set of the year.
I hate that.
I think it's because I love the Surveillance so much.
Okay.
But if not Karlov Manor, it's probably Bloomborough. Like, if we're being real, Bloomborough is probably my favorite set of the year.
Heck yeah. I love it.
Next up was Mystery Booster 2. Just a fun little product with some white bordered art treatments and the Future Sight border cards or whatever.
I bought one card from that set.
What card?
I'm scared to tell you.
What do you mean? What'd you buy?
I bought a white bordered Jace the Mindslayer. Or Jace Bellerin. Not Mindslayer.
That's not, I mean, that's fine.
Jace Bellerin.
Is that for your side deck?
Yeah, for the side.
Yeah. So you've got a old border or white border.
White border.
White border or
Jace.
modern border or new border. Jace. Okay. as a whole, Mystery Booster 2 is awesome. I wish we could get a box and draft it, but I'm just glad I got a box, period.
Yeah.
So,
No, exactly.
next up was Duskmorn, House of Horror, a couple months ago in September. How do you feel about Duskmorn?
I think for this one, I think no contest. Like I don't even think I bought a pack of it.
Really?
Yeah, I just not. I mean, I don't know if it's good. I'm sure it's like people like it. I think, but it's just not for me. No, I think I bought one pack.
Yeah, I think.
Because I did pull that abhorrent Oculus, and I was like, well, this is lost on me. Because
You got the Oculus?
yeah, I have that exact card. I'm like,
Dang.
well, I'll never play this. You don't know why?
Because you don't play
it's
60 card
Manifest.
competitive.
They don't play 60 card competitive, baby. Also says Manifest Dread. Don't even know what that means, so I'm never gonna play it.
Oh my God.
It says every turn you Manifest Dread. I was like, well, I'm not gonna look that up. That sounds complicated.
Wild. The best card I pulled was this Valgavoth Terror Eater. It's a reanimation target. It's extremely good. I have it in my Croxa deck just for fun. It's like another. I only have a couple reanimation targets, and I was like, oh, let's throw Valgavoth in there. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised with Duskmorn. I don't think we talked about how we weren't so hot on the flavor of this being like a horror
Like
setting,
80s.
80s horror. I think both of us didn't really vibe with that. But I've been surprised at just how many of these cards like rule. There's so many good cards in this set.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, now I'm starting to feel like Duskmorn might be my set of the year, which is really weird because initially I was super low. On this set because of the art direction, the horror aesthetic. But they're like, I'm looking right now, and they're like at least 30 cards that I think are like actively good and playable and cool design. Yeah, I'm really, I don't know, I'm really high on Duskmorn right now. The final set of the year that we're talking about is Foundations and Jumpstart 2025, which just came out last month in November.
I hated it. No, I'm just kidding. I loved it. It was a great set. It's honestly, I mean, we'll talk about it later more, but it's my favorite set of the year.
Wow.
I just love how it's magic flavored magic. You know, I'm a big fan. And also, you know, just about every card I pulled is useful. And that's, you can't really say that nowadays.
Yeah, I think the playability of the reprints and the unique designs from the set are high. Like there's so many cards. Like when you open a pack, it's going to be rare that you open a pack that just has 0 playable cards for, constructed format, whether it be Commander or Pauper or even just, Standard right now. A lot like this is the core for Standard for the next 5 years or whatever they said. So they had to like kind of go over the top with the value of the reprints that are present at all rarity levels. So,
100%.
yeah, like Luke said, it's just top to bottom. There are cards that you will play when you open a pack of Foundations, which is awesome.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah, magic flavored magic too, you know what I mean? It's like the flavoring of it as well is it's not anything weird. It's not Universes Beyond-y. It's no like 80s like a girl with Nikes on in the picture. Like it's just like
there are no fedoras.
No fedoras.
Karlov.
No Karlov BS.
No cowboy hats.
No product placement from Hasbro's other properties like Clue. It's just like magic flavored magic. It's wonderful. Big fan.
Yep. So yeah, those are all the sets and our kind of quick reactions to them. Luke, what are some of your biggest wins? Let's talk about the biggest wins from Wizards that we've seen this year.
Yeah, I would say biggest wins this year. So yeah, for sure, Foundations and Bloomborough were my favorite sets of the year. And honestly, Bloomborough was one of the best sets that's come out in a long time. And it was some of the most fun Magic I've had is playing Bloomborough. I love the aesthetic, number one, but number two, the gameplay of just like, hey, like we said last episode, drawing more cards and playing more things is more fun. And so the whole set was around small creatures that do fun stuff. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. Again, Foundations, we just drafted it. we did a Christmas draft with a few of my buddies.
Yep.
Little Christmas draft. It was fun. And yeah, it just playing a bunch of elves and then casting an overrun. Best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
I also, have you seen Hidetsugu's Second Right?
I have not.
It's
No.
like, you're going to love this card. This feels like a very Luke card if I've ever seen one. I got to win the game against Jacob with this card. So it's a 4-mana instant. If target player has exactly 10 life, Hidetsugu's Second Right deals 10 damage to that player.
I mess with this so hard.
Isn't this sick?
I love that.
And I kind of like, I slow rolled Jacob a little bit. I could have cast Overrun and killed him one turn, but then I realized I have this Hidetsugu's Second Right in hand. If I only attack for 5 right now, he'll be at 10. And as long as he doesn't gain life during his turn, I'm going to Second Right him. And I did. And I got to pull it off because this card is just, it's a bad card.
But if
you can pull it off, it's the best feeling ever.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's go. How pissed was he?
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was upset.
Good.
Yeah, so Foundation just has some like fun shenanigans for the draft format. I think it's one of the most fun, cleanest, intro friendly. Like draft can be pretty intimidating for people, I think. Like Vintage Cube that's a whole thing. Like you need to really know Magic the Gathering to build a comprehensive like draft deck for Vintage Cube. Foundations, it's so like clean, it's just classic Magic like you were saying.
Yeah.
That anyone can draft the set, I think.
Exactly.
And have a good time.
Yep. So yeah, I'd say Foundations, slam dunk. Bloomborough, slam dunk. Another just fun biggest win. We got 4 new worms this year. That's a lot of worming in 1 year.
Yeah.
You know, we got 4 of them. 4 new boys.
Baru was eating good.
He was eating very good this week, this year, and also we got like good worms too. They weren't just like commons. We got some good. We were slurping out some good worms.
You're
this
not
year.
playing like a 6-mana 4/3 from like
Nope.
1997.
Nope. We got some OP worms. We'll talk more about that later.
Heck yeah,
But-
that's awesome.
So yeah, what were your biggest wins?
Yeah, I think just looking back on it as we were expressing, really enjoyed the vibes of Karlov Manor. Love the Surveillance. I think the Mystery Booster 2 product is really good. I wish it might have been a bit more accessible, but the exclusivity of it kind of played into the hype. And again, I loved all the art treatments, the border treatments. And then, yeah, Bloomborough, just top down, best vibes. I loved the kind of like fairy tale creatures, forest energy. It was just like a very wholesome set
Yeah.
that ended up having a lot of powerful cards. Just to point out a few of my favorites from Bloomborough. Caretaker's Talent, obviously it's a staple for any sort of token creation deck. So this is in my Preston the Vanisher deck, just an auto include. I love Igra, Eater of All, just a really cool food synergy. We've seen a lot of food synergy cards printed in the last couple years, and makes me want to build an Abzan food deck. I think food's probably pretty good in Commander. I think we had that Lord of the Rings, Samwise, and Frodo food deck that I think you actually had that deck.
I had it and
then
then I
you
sold
piecemealed
it.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, food's kind of a real deal, so I like Igra a lot. We got some kind of more niche stuff, like Fountain Port's really good. I think in several formats. Rottenmouth Viper, another like crazy good card. Mockingbird, I think, is the most underrated card of the set. I think this card is just nuts. Like there's so much you can do with it. A combo that I missed is Recruiter of the Guard can get this and put it in your hand. So this basically turns your Recruiter of the Guard into a clone, which is
I
just
like
so cool. Like I hadn't even thought about that. There's just so much potential with Mockingbird. It's a card that I just love this design. I think there's a lot of really cool design choices that they made with Bloomborough, and yeah, I think I've slowly convinced myself that this is probably my favorite set of the year. Just aesthetics as well as designs. There's just a lot. There's Kitza, Otterball Elite. We got Glarb. I've got the infamous Cruel Claw in my Croxa deck. Just
That's
a
cool.
Crazy card. Sunspine Lynx. I have this in my Fumiko deck. Into the Flood Maw, just like an instant CDH staple. There's Flubs. We've got the Heartfire Hero and what that did to mess up Standard for a while. We got that Iridescent Vine Slasher that everyone was freaking out about for the Lizards deck in Standard. Dowerport Mage has my favorite art of the year, the extended art. You've got this like pompous like frog noble or something like that. Yeah. There's just so much good that came from Bloomburrow, just aesthetically and flavor wise. That this is probably my favorite set of the year.
No,
I've
agreed.
convinced myself.
I like it. We've gone back and forth for your favorite, but we're settling on Bloomburrow.
Settling in. How about your biggest losses? Let's talk about like what Wizards didn't get quite right this year.
Yeah, I had two things. I said Assassin's Creed. That set was pretty bad. And then also that, overarching problem this year was just Universes Beyond. And Wizards trying to push Universes Beyond instead of coming up with their own IPs and bringing other IPs into Magic. I think this is going to be one of those things where short-sighted benefits, long-term, long-term it's going to be bad. I think that like a lot of you'll initially get some new players when the Marvel set comes out, but I think that in 2 years from now, a lot of your existing players are going to leave because they're like, I don't want to play I don't want to have to play SpongeBob, cards in my legacy deck in order to be competitive. So I think this is a classic corporate shenanigans where it's like right now this is a benefit, but in the long term this is going to be a negative.
Yeah, and we went at it at length.
Yeah, we had a whole episode about this.
In the foundation about the foundations era of Magic presentation that we saw at MagicCon Vegas, and I think that's you hit the nail on the head. It's probably the biggest L of the year was just seeing that Wizards is like, hey, even though it technically like 2024 overall, we started to feel the creep of Universes Beyond with like Fallout and stuff like that. But it's really starting to set in that next year half of all product is going to be Universes Beyond, and it's a bummer. It's just a bummer.
It's a bummer. I think you're gonna get some people in like currently you're gonna get some new people to Magic, but I think long term you're gonna lose a lot of players.
Yep.
So, another one to bring up as well. Another big negative is AI artwork.
Oh yeah, the AI art.
They
scandal.
got caught multiple times saying we don't do AI artwork. We pay our artists, and then lo and behold, we find out, no, actually you didn't. There are now cards that are eternally available that have AI artwork. And then what do? They go, oh, we're sorry. And then, but it's still, still in the card pool. You can still play it. That was still an artist that didn't get paid. So, those were my two biggest losses. So what's your biggest losses of the year?
Yeah, you definitely got my biggest one being Universes Beyond and the storm that's coming next year.
Yep.
With Spider-Man and Final Fantasy. Like,
what
I'm not going to have a good time. Maybe I will. Maybe they'll prove me wrong, but anyways, that's probably my biggest L is the Foundations era of Magic.
Agreed.
AKA the Universes Beyond era of Magic.
Agreed.
But my second one would probably be Secret Lair continuing to fail its fans.
Oh, okay.
I personally don't really partake in Secret Lair. I don't think I've actually actively purchased a Secret Lair. I got one with my Festival in a Box or whatever.
Yeah.
But I have yet to actually buy Secret Lair. But having been in the Festival in the Box line, which is through the Secret Lair site, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
And I got lucky, and I was able to it took me probably only like 30 to 40 minutes. I've heard of people who literally had their computer open for like a whole day, and then you finally get into it and it's sold out. So I was like, well, I just wasted all that time trying to like prepare myself to buy this exclusive product, and I couldn't even gain access to it.
That's so annoying.
So even though it's not like a thing that impacts me all that greatly, it's still something I see in the community that every time there's a Secret Lair drop, all the discourse on Twitter about it, it's like, here we go again. So I don't know what the solution is. Maybe it's like, I don't know. A lot of people say, what is it, like print to demand? So like you hop in your queue, you like basically pre-order, and then they print to demand. I think that's probably a fair way of doing it. But yeah, I don't see them doing that. And it's just easier from their perspective, from their approach, to just print X amount. It's just way more efficient. And like, you know, as a company, if you're pumping out a bunch of product, you just, for assembly and production, you just need to, hey, I'm printing this, and then we're going to sell it. We're going to print this, we're going to sell it. We're not going. You don't want to wait on your consumers to then produce the product, even though they might make way more money doing it that way, and people will be way more happy, way more willing to even engage with Secret Lair. I feel like a lot of people are disenfranchised from it and just don't even buy it anymore because of how awful the thing is.
Yeah.
But they still sell out. So Wizards, who cares? But
Exactly.
I don't know. So I don't know what the solution is there exactly. I keep seeing it, and that's probably what bothers me most, is like every time Secret Lair drops, I know what the discourse is going to be. It's never going to be good. It's all going to be like, okay, here we go again. I'm going to have to wait in line to not, you know, for it to be sold out on me or whatever. So yeah, I think, Universes Beyond being 50% of all Magic product next year, that announcement, definitely the biggest L. But then yes, the Secret Lair, all the issues revolving around Secret Lair is probably my second biggest L. All that considered, I think this was a pretty solid year for Magic.
No, completely agree. Yeah, despite, like, I know I was being negative about like the Universes Beyond and, you know, the AI artwork and stuff like that, but overall, I'd say this was a great year. I think like between Bloomborough and Foundations, you know, I don't know. I think it was a good year.
Now let's talk about the show, the Wild Dogs.
Us?
Year in review. Us.
Yeah, let's talk about us.
Yeah. What was your favorite episode of the year?
My favorite episode of the year by far was episode 9, the Foundation Era, where we were talking about the Universes Beyond being legal and standard shenanigans, as well as next year's releases. I really like that episode for a couple of reasons. I think it was the perfect balance of, well, okay, maybe not perfect. You know, we can always improve, but I think it was a very good balance of being entertaining, but also informative.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we, listening back on it, like even my fiance liked it. And
it's awesome.
So as someone who does not play Magic, she was entertained by it. But then also we were, in fact, giving the news of like, hey, here's what just happened. Here's what it means. You know, here are some potential outcomes of what this could look like. You know, like I think it was the perfect balance. And I think to me, it feels like we've kind of found our stride in that episode a little bit. You know, I think
No, totally. I actually, that was my favorite too. That's what I had picked as well. I wrote in our show notes here that obviously our final big episode, episode 10.
Yeah.
It's hard not to pick that one just because of how much work went into that.
Right.
Building the definitive Commander deck building guide.
It was our highest quality episode, in my opinion.
I think, we put the most effort into, show notes preparation. We literally spent months doing all the research and, grinding out all the data points and building the scripts and all this stuff. So with that amount of effort, it's hard not for me to pick that one and have it be my instantly become my favorite. So outside of that one, I agree. Episode 9 was just, it was just good energy.
Good energy.
I think, like you were saying, we maybe hit our stride a little bit, and it just felt good talking about that. Cause I think we were both excited following that presentation to hop on a mic and chat about it. So that was a really fun episode to record with you. So
no, agreed.
I agree. I think episode 9 is probably our favorite. And then episode 10 is maybe our best, quote unquote, just because of the amount of time and energy we put into it. So
completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. How about, I guess let's talk about our decks. What was your favorite deck that you built this year or improved upon this year?
That's a good question. By far, Zabaz, America's favorite bee, was my favorite. My favorite deck of the year.
Was that you built that pretty early on this year?
Yeah, I built it right after our episode where we talked about like who we'd recommend each other to play to make a deck around.
Right. That's right. I forgot I
you
brought
showed
that to the
me
table.
This deck.
Yeah,
this is your fault, dude. Yeah, this is your fault. Zabaz was my favorite, I'd say like my second favorite deck was I finally made an Is It deck I like. I made the Gunslinger, which is Garrick, or no, not Garrick.
Gearson. Yeah.
Gerson Strom, right? Strawn. See, I don't even know his real name. He's just the gunslinger in my head.
Sure.
He's the guy. He's the alien with the 3 arms that has guns, and he was from the Warhammer decks.
Yeah.
So yeah, finally found an Is It deck I like, and then actually probably, I'd say Zabaz is my favorite deck, but if Zabaz is a 10, this deck is a 9.8, and that's my Baru the Worm deck that I have, the Worm Tribal deck I have. So much fun. You just play stupid big worms. The whole deck is about getting worms, like being able to pay down big creature costs, and it's a blast. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's big mono green energy.
Big mono green energy. It's more fun than Yorvo. There, I said it. It's way, way more fun.
I love it.
So yeah, what were your favorite decks this year?
So yeah, I pulled 1 or 2 decks for each of the formats that I kind of played this year.
Okay.
For Commander, I'd probably say it's either between Jahu Dun, which is my mono black, all my favorite mono black cards, essentially deck. It's kind of like a Voltron. You cast Jahu, who has horsemanship, so then you put a bunch of like cool equipment on him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just plays classic mono black type synergies. There's like a discard sub theme. I play a Hypnotic Spectre in it, so
very fun.
Gotta love that. So yeah, it's just like fun vibes, just goofy black cards that I love. And then Fumiko, which I've talked about the last couple episodes.
Yeah, she's cool.
She's just awesome. I mean, it's a $100 budget build that just does everything you want a casual commander deck to do, which is just have high impact on the game, make the game move quickly, and it's just that classic like mono red energy. I think the best way of seeing mono red succeed at a commander table is through like goad. Like that's what it does best, is make everyone move to combat, and then you find ways to survive combat. I think that's how you win with red, or it's like one of the better ways beyond burn to just like win with red, and it's really fun.
Force your opponents to kill each other.
Yeah, and I've just been having a lot of fun building it and tweaking it here and there, and yeah, its debut was a success, and yeah, I'm excited to like continue to build that deck basically moving forward.
Isn't the funny thing how the best strategy for red to win, which is arguably the most aggressive color, is to just make everybody else fight and you sit back?
That's so funny. Yeah. Well, yeah, so it's kind of how it works, right? Is all these goat effects. Fumiko forces your opponents to attack each turn, but then you kind of, like you said, red is aggro itself. So while everyone else is attacking each other, you slowly develop a aggressive board of your own that you can then swing out later once your enemies have whittled each other down. I have this idea of how the deck goes in my mind, where you're like building this fortress, like Fumiko's citadel. We're building it while your enemies are out on the battlefield fighting. And then once we've got this fortress totally secure and our armies have fully come together, then we open the gates and we go out and march to victory. It's kind of like the whole story of the deck in my mind and how it goes. So it's been fun kind of crafting that story and making sure that Fumiko's army comes out on top. So
I love it.
It's been a fun creative deck building process. For Dual Commander, Kroxa is going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, my one Dual Commander deck. I've started building a couple other ones. Like I said, an Abzan Food Dual Commander deck sounds really, really fun.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
But yeah, Kroxa is this has been, if I had to pick one deck, it would be my Kroxa Dual Commander deck. I just am in love with this deck, and it's really fun to have. Like for Commander, I've got 20 some odd decks that I'm building. So whenever a new set comes out for Commander, I'm just like, most of these cards I could put in most of my decks. It becomes this whole like thing in my mind of like what cards I need, and ordering singles. Obviously, this is like a good problem to have, but ordering singles it's fun because there's so many cards that I want and will work in my decks.
Yeah.
But for Dual Commander, for Kroxa, it's like there's such a marginal pool of cards that could make the deck actively better.
Yeah.
For example, for Foundations, I just added 2 cards that I'm testing. One is Alesha, Alesha, Who Laughs at Fate. She's just such a cool card. Again, going back to these like 3-mana mid-rangey creatures that move, you want to swing out with in Rakdos. I think this is like a really good pocket to be in. But it's a 2/2 that has first strike, and whenever it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. And it has raid, which I love the raid mechanic. It's just always fun to like, you have to push yourself to like actually attack, and then you get an effect after you've attacked. So Alesha's raid ability is at the beginning of your end step. If you attack this turn, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to Alesha's power from your graveyard to your battlefield.
That's very good.
So it's just like a really good, obviously the first strike 3/3 when you finally move to combat is solid, and it allows you to reanimate stuff that may have been removed or wiped out on your last combat step. So
yeah, I
think it's, it's a card that I'm testing out, but I think it definitely has a place in my Kroxa deck. And then the other one is from Jumpstart. The one card, there are a couple really good cards from Jumpstart 2025, but the one that really stands out to me is actually an uncommon legendary creature, Evora, Insatiable Air. It's a 2-mana 1/1 with Trample. She's a vampire warrior. When Evora, Insatiable Air enters, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you create a blood token. She also has,
very good.
Whenever you discard a card, which is what you do with your blood tokens, you put a +1/+1 counter on Evora. So in my deck, there's so many, like blood tokens are already thing. I've obviously got the Blood Tithe Harvester, which is another efficient. It's a 3/2 for 2 that creates a blood token that you can also sack to like kill something. Like Blood Tithe Harvester, hyper underrated card, just in general, super good. Evora is just like an even more aggressive Blood Tithe Harvester that continues to create blood tokens. I don't know. I just think her design's really, really cool. It's very exciting to me. Obviously, it's just a 2-mana 1/1, but it's got a bunch of stuff going on that synergizes so well with what I'm trying to accomplish in Kroxa that, like, there's so many other cards that benefit from me discarding. Evora herself is the engine to put +1/+1 counters on her, and she feeds right into the synergy of Kroxa. So
I like it.
It's just, that's what I love about building this deck, is that a random uncommon legendary creature, this is the one card I care about.
Yeah.
From Jumpstart 2025. Very random, but is what makes the deck building process exciting to me. For Legacy, we were talking about Tin Fins already. That's got to be my go-to favorite deck for Legacy. I'm also a lands player. That's my probably second favorite deck in Legacy, but Tin Fins is definitely my favorite deck for that format by far. For pre-modern, we've got Dead Guy Ale. We're just starting to get into pre-modern. Like I said, I love Hypnotic Spectre. So this is the dirty hippie deck, I guess you could call it.
The dirty hippie deck, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just Orzhov Control. It's a classic. It's just anyone can pick this deck up and win with it. And I also built an Oath of Druids deck, the Terravore Land Destruction Control deck that I thought Luke, at face value, it's like, oh, big stompy green creature. Luke will probably like this. And then I realized, oh, it's like a combo control deck. Those are two things that Luke actively hates.
Yeah, I don't like either of those things.
I'm going to print you off a different pre-modern deck, either elves or...
I hate them.
So
I'll do elves.
Yeah, maybe elves, maybe the rock. I'll look into it. I'll find a Luke-friendly pre-modern deck.
Yeah, I just want to play creatures and hang out.
Yeah. This, I think both the pre-modern decks I printed out, I was like, oh, these are so cool. They're so fun. And then I played them with Johnny yesterday, and he was like, these are so classically Leland, like degenerate.
I don't know what just happened, but I lost. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll find some more chill pre-modern decks, I guess we'll call them.
Yeah, there you go.
And then finally, I have to give a shout out to Golgari Midrange in Standard. This was like the only time I've ever had fun on Arena.
Do you think they make more money in paper Magic or in Magic Arena?
Oh, that's a great question. I'd love to see the numbers. I bet it's Arena.
I bet it's Arena too.
I bet it's
about
Arena.
to say that. I bet it's Arena.
And that's a shame because I hate Arena.
Also, like, it crashes. Like, I've had like problems with the actual application itself. So,
anyways, long story short, Golgari mid-range and standard, really, really fun this year. Obviously with Innkeeper's Talent, when that dropped with Bloomburrow, when people realized that you could Vraska one-hit KO with that, I was immediately like, let's go. And so I built it in Arena. I had all the wild cards from the last couple years. I'd never used them. So I was able to build a standard deck that played really well and was really fun. So have to give a shout out to a short amount of time I spent with standard.
Yeah. Short but sweet.
All right, so now I want to talk about our top 5 cards of 2024.
All right, let's hear it.
According to Scryfall, there were just about 2,061 new paper cards released in 2024,
That's
which
so
is
many.
a ridiculous amount of cards. And for perspective, I've actually I went through the last 2 decades from 2024 to 2004, and I looked at the amount of cards that were printed in paper for the first time by year. So I'm talking like unique design cards. So like this is the first time they're printed ever, right? And the data I found was like crazy.
Yeah.
Like the last 3 or 4 years, we've been sitting at right around this 2,000 unique new cards printed. And you jump back to like even just a few years ago, 2018, we're looking at 1,000. So yeah, just in the last 4 to 5 years, they've doubled the amount of new cards they have to put out every year.
That's so bad.
And then you jump back another few years, back to like the early 2010s. They were sitting at about like 600 cards, 700 cards. It's just crazy. Like the fact, I mean, obviously it's like you print more cards, you make more money. It's just one-to-one. People who are invested in this game are going to buy the latest, greatest set, the newest cards, test them out, whatever. People will buy packs of cards.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes. But it didn't click in my mind until I saw these numbers, just how much Wizards has been putting out the last couple of years. Like we're constantly talking about product burnout and there just being too much. These numbers just prove that Wizards, they're trying so hard to put out as many new products as possible.
Yeah.
And
They're just flooding this game with content.
flooding it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting. So this year alone, we've got over 2,000 brand new cards to the game in paper. It's nuts.
That's so bad.
It's nuts. That being said, there were some good ones in the mix. There were some really good designs that we have to point out here.
Yeah, we've gone through all 2,000.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. We did not.
Yeah. We sat down, we looked at all 2,000 cards
For you guys.
for you.
No, we're just kidding.
Yeah,
We
no,
did
this
not
is just
do
like off the top of our head. Like, what are the cards that resonated with us most throughout 2024? So I'm just going to run through mine real quick. In the number 1 slot, and I don't think these are in any order necessarily, but my number 1, I guess for sure, is number 1, and that's Ocelot Pride. Again, my Preston the Vanisher Casual Commander deck is one of my favorite decks I've ever made, and Ocelot Pride is just the perfect card for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's very rare that we find populate cards that are good. I think it's called like a Nesting Dovehawk or something like that. That came out with March of the Machine last year. This card was nuts. It's also my Preston the Vanisher deck. But cards that populate are so hard to like come by that actually are like good rate or have a powerful effect. And Ocelot Pride just blows every other populate card out of the water. It's a 1-mana 1/1 first strike with lifelink. And Ascend, which is really easy to achieve in token decks, just 10 or more permanents. And basically at the beginning of your end step, if you gain life, you create a 1/1 white cat token. However, if you have the City's Blessing after ascending, which like I said is super easy to achieve in a Tokens Matter deck, you instead get to, for each token you control that enter the battlefield this turn, you create a token that's a copy of it. And the whole bit of Preston the Vanisher is to make a bunch of copy tokens of all the creatures that are flickered, entering the battlefield, leaving the battlefield. And so by my end step, Ocelot Pride will trigger and double all of those things. And those are then going to be doubled again by things like Elish Norn, Mondrak, Anointed Procession. So like Ocelot Pride for 1 mana just goes so crazy. It's like easily the best populate card ever printed, and it's also strong in like, I guess, like modern and stuff too. I haven't really, again, I'm not super tapped into modern, but apparently, I mean, this card's just good. It's just so good for a 1-mana 1/1.
And it's a 1-mana, guys.
First strike, lifelink. Again, talking about cards that like synergize with themselves like this is just an engine.
Yeah,
for
we're past
1 mana.
Savannah Lions here. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, Ocelot Pride easily number 1 in my eyes. It's too good to hate.
Yeah,
It's too good to hate.
it's very good.
Next up at my number 2 slot is the Surveil lands from Murders at Karlov Manor. The best land we've seen since Shocklands. It's not even close as far as duels go. So it's just exciting to have an option that, it's a Surveil land that you can tutor off your fetches, which is just good. They're just good. They're just solid.
Yep.
Every deck should run them. At least
Agreed.
one. So yeah.
Unless you're monocolored.
Unless you're monocolored, then what are you doing? Start playing 2-color decks.
I mean, or don't. It's if you like green.
No, I'm kidding.
No,
I've
I
got
know.
some of my favorite decks, like my Joven deck, my new Fumiko deck, my Xiahou Dun deck. A lot of my favorite decks are monocolor, so I'm just joshing around here.
No,
but
I know.
that being said, Surveil lands absolutely goated
Very
for
good.
2024. Next up, we've got Caretaker's Talent, which I talked about earlier. Again, Bloomborough, one of my favorite sets. I had to have a Bloomborough card on here, so gonna go with Caretaker's Talent because again, it's good in Preston, and yeah, it's just good for token decks in general. Number 4 is Caustic Bronco from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. It's a snake horse mount. Is the creature type. Like, need I say more? That's ridiculous. It's just so.
I'm
good.
here for it.
And yeah, it played a big role in my Golgari mid-range combo deck in Standard. So it had to, have one of those cards represented here. It was either between Innkeeper's Talent or this. And I just love this card so much. So had to shout out to the old Caustic Bronco. And then finally, again, Alesha Who Laughs at Fate, because this is an ode to my Croxa deck. And I think Alesha's design is just cool, and also an ode to some of the cool new designs we see in Foundations.
No, definitely.
So yeah, those are my top 5. Luke, how about you?
Yeah, I would say my number 1 card of the year was Patchwork Banner. It's a artifact. For 3 mana. It says as it enters the battle, or as it enters, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1, and you can tap it and add mana of any color. So it's like a mana dork that gives +1/+1s to creatures of a given type. I'm a big fan of all the Patchwork cards, like all of them. Like there's a couple of them. There's a Patchwork Automaton. There's a Beastie Patchwork card. Like they all hit. All the Patchworks hit. But no, I really like this one. It's an auto include in basically all my decks. It's in my Worm deck. It's in my Worm deck. It's in my side deck. I can even throw in Yorvo. There's enough creature type synergies going on in all of these decks that or I can even throw it in like in the Gunslinger deck, because I'm making, Thopters, I'm making the 1/1 birds. Like I'm making a lot of tokens in that deck too. So anything that makes tokens, it's just an auto include. It's really good. The artwork is cool. It's my favorite card of the year.
I love that, because when this card came out, and I'm just going to say that Twitter discourse, Twitter,
Do they not like it?
Twitter discourse in general is extremely toxic, especially amongst players who think Commander is cringe. And this was like the poster child of like, I'm a Commander player, because it's
I am
just
a
like,
Commander player.
I know, and I think it's like a good thing. And I like this card too. I think I've got it in my Zombies deck. Like obviously this is a tribal card, and like,
Yeah.
But the discourse on Twitter was like, this is the worst card design that all Commander players are gonna freak out about. And I was like,
You were
come on.
correct.
There's so many, like the elitism of like some of competitive Magic Twitter is just so funny. Like,
Listen, I know who I am. I am a casual Commander player.
yeah, it's just
That's who I am.
people.
You know, I'm
obviously,
okay with it.
Yeah, and I think obviously we take this game seriously. We're talking about it on a show.
Yes.
Like,
Guys, it's a board game.
just have some fun. Like,
Have fun.
I love 60 card. I love 1v1. Let people who love Commander do their thing.
Yeah.
Let's be inclusive. Granted, I get not liking the whole Commander the Gathering, and there's so many cards that are designed towards Commander, and I'm not saying that's a progressive or good thing for the game, but let's let people love their Anthem Commander spheres. Just let Patchwork Banner be.
Yeah.
Let people love this card, like Luke.
I am a filthy casual, and I'm okay with that. And that's why I liked Patchwork Banner this year.
Exactly. And that's why I'm happy that we're talking about this, because there's so many people who just immediately were like, this is a Commander card.
Yeah, you're right. And I enjoy playing
You're
in
right.
Commander.
It is a Commander card, and we're going to love this card in Commander.
It was made for me.
All right, what's number
All right,
two?
number
What's
two.
number two for you?
Bristly Bill.
Gotta love him.
Gotta love him.
Best-
2-drop, bunch of +1/+1s. You
Best
can
card
go-
in Thunder Junction. It's not even close.
Yep. Not even close. I think I pulled it too. I pulled it in a pack, and it went right into Yorvo.
There we go.
So
Gotta love
Bristly
it.
Bill, gotta love it. Number 3, Quilled Great Worm from Foundations.
What is
It-
this card?
Look it up. It is a busted worm, and you know I love that. Every time a new set comes out, I search worm.
I love that.
Quilled Great Worm. It's a for 6. It's got trample, and it says whenever a creature you control deals combat damage during your turn, put that many +1/+1 counters on it.
This is the most Luke card I've ever seen.
And it looks cool. It looks sick.
Whenever a creature
I love it.
deals combat damage.
Any
Oh, this
creature.
is this
Busted.
is like this has to be the best worm ever made. Surely.
Yes. Oh, by far. Yeah. Yeah. By far the best worm. And I saw it on the list when Foundations was announced, and I bought it right away.
Heck yeah.
So
We love the worm.
that's my favorite creature of the year. And then next is Niv Mizzet Visionary, number 4. It is the Niv Mizzet that like says you don't have don't have a your hand size is whatever.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
No minimum size. And it says, whenever source you deal does non-combat damage to an opponent, you may draw that many cards. So basically, I throw this into the Gunslinger, and I'm just drawing cards for days.
Just not a combat damage. So it's like a burn. Oh, the burn that draws you stuff? Yeah, this is good. This is my first time seeing this card.
Yeah. And then my last card was a dumb one. Bovine Intervention.
Nice.
It's like Heroic Intervention, but it's a bovine. And it's like, basically you like replace a creature with like a 1/1 bovine. It's funny. The artwork is hilarious.
Oh, so it's the opposite of Heroic Intervention.
Yes.
It's a removal spell.
It's a removal spell.
Yep. Yeah, I remember, I think we put this in the standard legal commander episode we did in your new Bruce Tarl.
That's where I discovered it.
Yeah, no, this card's good. It's just
hilarious.
It's good rate. It's good rate. I think it's playable. Definitely playable in commander. I think it's really
Playable
good.
in Commander, and it's funny. So those are my lists, my top 5.
There we go. So now that we've talked about, some of our favorite things from 2024, including our top 5 cards for each of us,
Yes.
and our favorite decks,
Yes.
and what Wizards did right and wrong. Let's talk about the future of Wild Dogs.
Yeah.
What we got?
Our future.
What we got cooking for 2025? So yeah, Luke, what are your MTG plans for 2025?
As Magic the Gathering goes, my plan next year is to not buy any products.
That's not happening. I'm telling you right now.
Not buy any products. I'm going to go into the year hoping that I
There's
will buy,
no chance.
I will buy singles on
There's
TCG
no
Player.
chance.
I will buy, I'll buy singles, but I'm not buying any sealed product next year.
All right.
No precons. Definitely no precons. No boxes. None of that.
I will bet you one collector booster that you will buy a pack of Magic cards within the first quarter of 2025.
Deal.
Okay, here you heard it here first.
Deal.
There's not a chance,
Deal.
dude.
No, this is the year of extremes, guys. I'm giving up sugar this year, except for the
Okay,
month of
come
July.
on, come on.
Except for the month of July, because that's when I'm getting married.
Oh, so you can eat your wedding
So I
cake.
can have
or
my
whatever.
wedding cake. Yeah. But
You're giving up
otherwise,
sugar.
I'm giving up sugar this year, and so I'm gonna also give up my spending sugar, which is Magic the Gathering product. No more no more Magic tax at Target. No more sealed product. I'll buy singles, but I will not buy sealed product.
All right. Well, my goal is I'm going to buy more precons than Luke. I'm going to buy more packs than ever before,
Oh, okay.
just to balance, just to offset the damage Luke is doing to the Magic economy.
Yeah.
Even though it's such like they're doing fine without us. They're doing more than fine. No, I'm
they
definitely.
They don't need my $200 a year.
All
that I
jokes
put towards
aside,
this.
I think that I will definitely, my consumption of sealed products is going to go down, primarily because of Universes Beyond.
Yeah.
And I think my philosophy on like buying product in general, it has changed. I'm much more interested in pre-ordering singles and then buying like maybe one collector booster. Like that worked really well for, I think that's what I did for Duskmourn. Foundations, I think I bought one pre-release kit and a bunch of singles. It's just, I don't need, like, we're looking at my stacks of cards on my desk still because it's the holidays and I haven't organized stuff. But like, I don't need the bulk. I just don't.
Yeah.
So I think buying one collector booster or buying like one pre-release kit, I think that's the perfect amount. Like, I don't need to be buying booster boxes, whatever. But I'm still gonna engage, and you are too.
I'm not going to, guys.
All right, we'll see. We will see.
Listen,
We will,
you heard it here.
we will see.
2025 goes as the year that I did not buy sealed product.
All right. And then also my more serious goal for 2025 personally is to continue the quote unquote 32. Have you heard of this concept before?
I have not, no.
It's basically the 32 for every single color combo, for monocolor, 2-color, 3-color, 4-color, 5.
Okay.
Colorless. You create a commander deck for each of those.
Oh, I love that.
And I already started my spreadsheet.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
I think I'm about halfway there, accounting for about 16 decks in paper, 20 if we include lists that I don't have in paper, like the Capitoline Trio, Magar, Magic Strings. I also have a Gretchen Titchwillow deck that I'm building for Willow.
Yeah, you are.
So I'm like halfway there with my 32. So I'm hoping to like at least increase by like, let's say 6. I think I wrote down 6 new in-paper EDH decks in 2025, which accounts for like one every other month.
Yeah,
I think
that's doable.
That's doable. I don't want to, if I end up at like 3 or 4, then that's fine. But I really want to continue this idea of the 32. I really like it. I don't know. It's a good way of like having your collection represent all of the different color combos available in Magic the Gathering.
I love that.
So that being said, what decks are you planning on making in 2025?
I have two things. I have two things cooking this year. Number one, I finally want to get around to making a mono black deck that I like.
Okay.
So I've tried many times because I think there's a lot of cool mono black cards, a lot of cool black cards, but it's really hard to find a mono black commander that isn't overpowered or oppressive to play against, and is just kind of fun to play. And it's kind of hard to find. And so I'm hoping to find that this year. So that's one deck. But then another project is I'm doing my first 5-color deck. And I've been working on it. I've been stewing on this for the last month or so. It's Progenesis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm calling it the Gods and Monsters deck. It's just basically like
Nice.
my love letter to cool creatures from Magic the Gathering, all in one deck. And then like on the side, I'm like trying to slide in Progenesis without him getting countered.
Okay.
So that's those are the 2 projects I hope to accomplish this year. 2 decks I hope to make this year.
Cool.
So how about you?
Right on. Yeah, like I was mentioning, I'm going to do a Capitoline Trio Colorless Eggs deck. I've got the Magar of the Magic Strings, which is this Rakdos. Really cool. You reanimate your instants and sorceries and turn them into creatures. And when they deal combat damage or something like that, you create a copy of that spell. I think it's going to be really fun.
That's cool.
And then, Gretchen Titchwillow, which is a Simic deck. And I personally don't really like Simic. I think it's just boring, to be honest. But
Okay.
I'm going to try to overcome my prejudice towards it and create this Gretchen Titchwillow deck. She's kind of like a classic, a very classic Simic commander. She does the Simic thing, And it's for my daughter, whose name is Willow. So all art will include a girl or a woman doing some cool, badass stuff.
I love that.
So some female empowerment.
Some lady tribal.
Lady tribal Gretchen Titchwillow for my daughter, whose name is Willow.
I love that.
So I've kind of already got a list put together for that, but I need to we'll refine it. Maybe put that together towards the end of the year in 2025. But so those are kind of like the 3 that I already have in the works. And then I want to set like a more serious blueprint for the 32. Maybe start to really put a dent in the 3-color decks. I've got a few, but not too many. And then I want to do one unique 4-color CDH deck. Like we were talking about Crom earlier. 4-color Crom deck would be sick. And then, you're building 5-color, so I'm going to build 5-color.
I love it.
I'm looking at Kyodai, which I have a copy of, and it's one of those cards where I like look at, and it's kind of unique. It's a 4-mana 3/3 with flash and flying. When it enters the battlefield, another target permanent gains indestructible for as long as you control Kyodai. It's a pretty cool mechanic. And then for Wooburg, Kyodai gets +5/+5 until end of turn. So I love me some infinite mana. So if I can figure out, obviously in 5-color, it's going to be easy to assemble infinite mana of any color in one way or another. And then I could just swing out over the top with Kyodai, have it be like a 400 one-shot people. But for the most part, I'm gonna try to gear this towards casual and just not have tutors or anything like that in it.
Yeah.
But it maybe have here and there combo pieces that can be
cool.
made.
Interesting.
So we'll see. Kyodai's a cool commander. It's pretty straightforward though. I might have to maybe I'll just make an Ezio deck.
Why?
Because
why would you do that?
It's 5-color and I can just run all Universes Beyond cards and upset you.
But why?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Like for 5-color, there aren't a ton that like resonate with me.
Okay.
For 5-color commanders, I just haven't found one that speaks to me yet. We'll get there, I'm sure. But I could just run an Ezio 5-color Assassin's Creed deck.
I hate everything about what you just said.
All right.
I'm like getting upset the more I think about it.
5-colored Assassin's Creed.
What if we made decks that were just like awful Universes Beyond decks?
Well, that'll be an episode.
That'll be an episode.
That'll be an episode.
Yeah.
I already know that I'm going to do... Well, I'm not going to say, but I already know...
Yeah, don't tell me.
Yeah.
Don't say
I
anything.
already know what I'm building. I already got it.
Deal.
Okay. Anyways, so those are our goals for deck building. How about our goals just for the show?
Yeah, no, I would say, okay, my number one goal of 2025 is, so people, this is some behind the scenes stuff, but I'm the person that made the website, and I just kind of, we needed something up, so, spent a day and made that. The website is currently up, so I have a big initiative to recreate the website. And so it'll be kind of the one-stop shop for all Wild Dog stuff. I want you guys to be able to listen to episodes on the website, see notes on all of our episodes. Maybe we might start writing articles and, do that kind of thing. And so you can read it all in one place. Sign up for a newsletter, like that kind of thing. Shop, like, that kind of thing, all in one place. And so That's kind of one of my goals for the year is to get that off the ground.
Heck yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited. We're not going to share too many details, but Luke's been showing me some of his ideas, and yeah, I'm very, very excited to see what you come up with.
Yeah. No, same here. Same here.
I guess my goals for the show are maybe more optically focused. I mentioned before we started recording that I want video.
Okay.
I think a podcast in the modern era of 2024.
See our ugly mugs.
Yeah, needs. We just need to get some cameras going.
Yeah.
Get some cameras rolling. Part of that has been we just don't have like a proper quote unquote set or like studio space. We're literally at my work desk right now. 2025, that's one of my goals, is to kind of set up a more like studio space, something that we feel like this is where we do the Wild Dogs work, and it's not just my literal work desk. I think it'll help set the tone and get us in that mindset. And then, having video is also going to allow us to level up our social media presence, which has been more or less non-existent. I'd like to at least have some clips and that type of thing. It's just hard editing the podcast and then trying to release clips and all this social media posts and videos and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We're going to be, that's another goal for 2025 for me, is being more present on social media and having video.
Yeah.
Which it probably won't come right away, but we'll get there.
Eventually.
We'll get there.
No, exactly.
So
yeah.
I mean, overall, I'm just really excited to do this again for another year with you, Luke. It's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. And it's going to be bigger and better in 2025, I think.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Likewise. It's, and also too, thanks to you, Leland, for, all the work you've done on this, but also, thanks to our listeners who've listened to us this year. This was a fun, creative project that we started, at the beginning of 2024, and it's now almost 2025, 1 year later. And so thanks to all the people who listen to us, talk about a game that we love.
Yeah, it's fun to like have our friends listen and have some other people connect with us across the globe. I think I saw in our Spotify Wrapped, we had people listen from 9 different countries, which is kind of crazy.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, just shout out to anyone who's checked us out and given us a shot, because we really love making this show, and we hope to connect with people through this game that we love, and just talk. Again, the whole bit is we're just talking Magic here, and we're going to continue having fun talking Magic in 2025. Now, close out the show, we have to do our classic Scryfall Random Spirit Creature of the Week.
And this is the last Spirit Creature of 2024, guys.
Last one of 2024. So I think we just gotta find one that we really connect with. I'm cool with us just chilling in Scryfall a bit until we hit one. Did you already hit one?
I hit a good one.
Just right
off the rip. Yeah.
Off the rip. All right,
first rando.
Yeah, we typically do just one free mulligan. Actually, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that was good. That's a very good one.
I took a couple free mulligans, but we did hit one that's like, it's just classic. It's a staple. It's Sun Titan. In particular, I'm going to use the 30th anniversary countdown kit Secret Lair edition.
Okay.
Because the flavor text, I don't know, it kind of speaks to me in kind of what we're talking about, looking forward to 2025. A blazing sun that never sets. So shout out Sun Titan. Also, shout out to Justin and Alexis Hernandez, because this is gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. I personally, in my Preston deck, I'm rocking with the promo, the Chris Ron Sun Titan. Oh, that's cool. Is my favorite Sun Titan. But yeah, the Secret Lair one from the 30th anniversary is so clean.
It's pretty.
So that's going to be my Spirit Creature of 2024.
I love it.
How about you?
So I got from Judgment, I got Brawn. Brawn, which is it's a incarnation creature, and it has trample, and it says as long as Brawn is in your graveyard and you control a forest, creatures you control have trample.
I love it. So it's like it's that cycle like of anger. I
Yep.
think it's like Wonder is another one. Yeah, Brawn.
Yep.
One of the
Same.
lesser known ones.
Yep. Same. And this was in Yorvo for a while, giving all my creatures trample. This is like one of the like you said, it's like anger where like you want it in your graveyard because it benefits your, it benefits all your creatures. So, and I got the cool old, the old border printing of it. So yeah, Brawn.
I dig it.
Oh, and then the flavor text says, "I have arrived, bellowed Brawn, and the plane shuddered."
Dang. Yeah, this art is super sick by Matt Kavoda. Just this big elemental incarnation. It's hard to even like parse what this thing even is. It just, you can tell it's like a power. It's like an elephant. It's like a big earthen elephant.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
It's like an algae elephant.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Sun Titan and Brawn. I like it.
I love it.
It's a great way to wrap 2024.
Agreed.
Our final food for thoughtcast question of the year is, what is your favorite playtest card? I was looking through when I was looking at Mystery Booster 2. I was like, oh yeah, there are all these playtest cards, and there are like hundreds of them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I've never even like really looked into a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be fun for us to like just find one to talk about in the next episode.
I love it.
So yeah, let us know in the comment section on the YouTube channel, or comment via email. Let us know what your favorite playtest card is, because we would love to know. Finally, thank you to our sponsors. We still don't have any at the end of 2024, but we're hoping, again, goals for 2025. If you'd love to sponsor the show, please reach out to us via email at wilddogspodcast@gmail.com. Feel free to connect with us through Twitter or Instagram at wilddogspod, and over on Discord, which you're invited to in the episode description. And finally, as always, thanks to Johnny Bartlett for creating the intro and outro music. This time around, it's actually Christmas themed, which is just so wonderful.
I love it.
So thanks again, Johnny. You've really helped make this show special with your music, and we're looking forward to your other creations in 2025, because so far they've been amazing. So
yes, 100%.
So he's going to play us out here with his Christmas magic song. And until the new year, Wild Dogs out.
Thanks, everyone.
It's a magical time of year where sleigh bells ring. Ooh, when all the planeswalkers walk and you can hear them sing. Christmas,
Slinging spells through the night.
Christmas,
Powerful beings of light.
Christmas,
Winning glory on the battlefield.
Christmas,
And I still believe that Santa's real. Combos echo in the morning sun. Our commander game is never done. When you lose, it's tragic. I'm still so magic.
Happy Magic the Gathering Christmas.